On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to GameShowMarathon.com.
You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
You realize what you've done?
With Rich Liebig.
A real gangster plays his cards, right?
And Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It is time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. A little bit of a special episode this week. We had a little bit of a holiday break, and we're going to go over everything that we did during the holiday break in this past week, so it delayed our podcast a little bit. So we thought we would try something unique and try and do a YouTube Live podcast. So it's been a while since we've done something live, so it feels a little on edge here. We don't know what's going to happen.
A little on edge?
Yeah, we're on the edge right now. Woo! You don't know. Ah! So get ready. We do have topics to talk about.
Yes.
So we do have some news headlines prepared. But that doesn't mean we won't go off the beaten path on this podcast. The meal for your mind, that is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Before we get to all of the stories at hand, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing? How is Costanzo Country holding up?
By a thread.
Yeah, you literally flew back today, right?
Yeah, so
let's get into the details.
Let's get into it. So I've been in Chicago the past few days. Just returned to the land of cheesesteaks and soft pretzels from the land of Italian beef and hot dogs.
Yeah. You're even wearing a Second City
I'm
shirt.
wearing a Second City shirt. It's honestly one of the best things to do in Chicago is go see the Second City improv comedy shows. I've been to a few of them. Cannot recommend them enough. They're fantastic. But yeah, we were out there for my sister-in-law's graduation. She is now a doctor of optometry. So congratulations to her.
Yes, congratulations.
Very exciting stuff, and I can finally get new glasses now. After 4 years of waiting. That was the joke. I said, so can I make an appointment? Like, do I just text you? How do I get
how does this work?
How do I get new glasses now? No, but it was great. It was great being back in Chicago again, seeing my brother, my sister-in-law, and celebrating with them and getting the chance to see the city again. But it's been a whirlwind. I mean, it's been nonstop. We flew in on Tuesday, and we did a bunch of stuff Tuesday. Had the graduation. It was on Wednesday. Long day. We had a late dinner. Got back. Woke up early, grabbed a flight back, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are doing a special podcast because we still want to give you guys a podcast every week. That is our goal. We want to keep you in the loop, especially with some things that have been happening in the world of sports and entertainment that we do want to get to in just a bit.
But before we get to that, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I had Memorial Day weekend. I was a good American.
That did happen, yeah.
I was a good American.
How many hot dogs and hamburgers did you eat?
I know my hamburger count.
Okay.
Because I had 1 on Saturday, I had 3 on Sunday, and I had 2 on Monday.
That's a lot of hamburgers.
So on average, I had 2.
You're averaging 2 hamburgers a day.
There was a 3-day span where I averaged 2 burgers a day. So that was a good American.
I think that is the appropriate amount of beef intake per red-blooded American.
Yeah. So I felt good. There was a lot of meat sweats that happened.
At one point, you were mostly beef.
Yes, correct.
You actually scientifically became part bovine in the span of those 3 days.
At some point towards the end of that 3rd day, yes. Yes, that is correct. So, but no, I'm feeling good. Something else I did try. I finally got to try Balatro. I tried that.
Oh, finally. And
that was a lot of fun.
it's good, isn't it?
Yep, it's a lot of fun. It makes you think about poker hands differently with the way the gameplay is, and having 8 cards instead of 7.
Yeah.
Because there are some poker variants that do 7.
Right.
So it's not unheard of to do like kind of that mechanic where you make your best 5-card hand out of a hand of 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever. The jokers are cool. Like kind of that throws like a whole wrinkle in it.
Yeah.
It's really really unique. I enjoyed it.
It's almost more puzzle game than poker game in a way.
It's actually more puzzle arcade.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be something that would be in like an arcade scenario.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's super addicting.
Yeah. So definitely enjoyed that. But other than that, most of my free time now is devoted to the game show marathon because it is coming up fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's already next weekend. So I'm getting all my trivia ready. I'm getting my game shows.
How many shows are you hosting this year?
I'm hosting 6.
Wow. So a full quarter
Yes.
of the slate. Of course, raising money for Child's Play, right?
Yep, that is correct. And that charity gives toys and games and video games to kids that are in hospitals. It's a fantastic charity. It's one we've supported now for, I think, 11 years now straight.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great charity. And one of its direct beneficiaries is CHOP. So
Nice.
we see the direct contribution right here in Philadelphia. We're looking forward to it. It's already next week. We're getting the word out, trying to get as much, blast as we can out there. It is coming up fast, but we're looking forward to it. And, it's going to be weird. We're already to the weekend of this week, so I'm not that far off saying this time next week.
Yeah.
It's go time.
I mean, you're in go mode right now, basically. This is the home stretch, and they put on a fantastic production.
Thank
for
you.
24 hours straight. No, it's no joke. You guys got to check it out and make sure to donate too, obviously.
That is right. So make sure you donate and help us get to our goal. We're trying to hit $10,000 this year. We've hit $11,000.
I think you guys are going to do it again. You guys have crushed it every single year.
I think so. But, you don't want to take anything for granted. So make sure you get those donations in. If you do donate, gameshowmarathon.com. And that is also where you can watch the broadcast, too, when we started on June the 7th at noon. Literally, June 7th at noon. We don't stop the Twitch stream until June 8th at noon, 24 hours straight. So it is going to be bedlam next weekend. But for right now, I can calm down a little bit, and we can stay focused on the news at hand. Let's do the first batch of topics. It revolves around sports. So let's kick things off with the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face! Ha ha!
That is right. Sports coming at you in your face here. Let's kick things off with some... this is... Anything in terms of changes to the college football structure is monumental. It's almost like something changing in baseball. Usually, it's been happening a lot recently, but it's still just like, whoa, like I can't believe like
college football is an institution.
Yes.
It is, the NFL, for as much as I love it and as biased as I am, for a large part of the country, college football is the end-all, be-all.
Yes.
Right?
If you don't have an NFL team, college football is the default.
Yeah, it is a huge institution. Any change that happens is hard to make, and it's even harder to get people to buy into. And we've followed the story the past couple of years of the move to make college football have a sort of playoff structure, a bracket structure, and their work to get that off the ground, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to consolidate it into a singular national championship, and they've slowly been working to refine that system.
Yeah.
And there's been yet another change here.
Yes. So last year they tried out a new system where they had a 12-team invitation.
That's way better than it was previously. They only had 4.
They only had 4. Instead, they had 12 teams, but the gimmick to try and still make the conferences important was that the conference winners were eligible for the top 4 buys that were given, because obviously 12 you can't divide it
Right.
Evenly, and eventually that gets you to an odd number. So 4 teams have to have a bye.
Yeah.
You have to do something to get the number down so that it can be divisible in half and half and half and half until you get your winner. So the big change that they've come up with is that now it's going to be straight up top 12 teams that the committee thinks are the top 12 teams in the nation get invited. They get ranked 1 to 12. Doesn't matter what conference they're from, and no matter what it is, the top 4 that are ranked according to the committee, they get the bye week. Screw the conferences. Doesn't matter anymore. That is out the window. It is now straight up top 4 teams. They get the bye. Big news, because this really is a blow to all the conferences.
Yeah.
Because now it's like the conference championships are just kind of like, eh.
I was going to say, does it devalue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it gives Notre Dame now a shot to get the bye week, because the big knock for them was they don't belong to a conference.
Oh,
And
okay.
the rule was you had to be a conference championship winner. So it was always like Notre Dame, no matter how good they are, they will never get a bye week under the old system, if you will. Now it's the old system.
Yeah.
But now with this change, now anybody can get the top 4 bye weeks. You could even have 2 or 3 now from one conference. If one conference is that dominant.
You know what? I think this system, even though I know it's going to have detractors, is more fair than the previous system. If you are a top performing team, you deserve to be there regardless of whether or not you won your conference. And if there's situations where one conference is dominating 2, 3, 4 spots or whatever, either play better football or figure something else out. You know, you can't just arbitrarily punish good teams because they are better than the rest. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Isn't that the point of sports? You know,
Yes.
if you're the best, you deserve to be in competition
Yes.
to win the ultimate prize.
Yes, and there is a very big difference here, because there were some detractors that were saying that, well, the NFL doesn't do this with divisions. The division winners always get a home game. But here's the difference. In the NFL, they try to make the schedules as evenly matched as possible with all the teams, right?
Yeah.
You know, before you even know before the previous season ends who you're going to face in the next season, because of the way the alternating division schedule works and who you face in your intra-division, intra-conference, all that stuff.
And they match up with similarly placed teams in the other divisions. So if you finished 4th in your division, you play all the other bottom teams in their respective divisions.
Yes.
So they do a lot of work behind the scenes to balance it all out.
Right. In college football, nothing like that happens.
It's just anarchy.
All the teams make their own schedule.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, that doesn't matter. That gets thrown out the window. You legitimately could have the top 3 teams in the country all be from one conference, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Literally last year, it was Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State were all in the same conference. You could make the argument that all 3 of them, deserved at least a fighting chance at the top 4 slots.
So those detractors, though, in the NFL, currently you can have a situation where an entire division makes the playoffs if they're all good enough. So
yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. That's
so
right.
they're not that, all the best teams are coming from one conference. Okay, yes, that also happens in other sports sometimes. I don't see that as a knock.
I think the argument is the bye week thing. That
The
now
bye-
the conference championships now. I mean, it is kind of true. Now the conference championship is just kind of like a stepping stone.
But the thing is, okay, sure, it devalues it. But there's also so many freaking conferences and so many teams. You need, like, you can't, I feel like it's just too much to corral and organize effectively,
Yeah.
So there's going to be no perfect system unless you get rid of whatever this weird bastardized conference structure is. Right?
It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be tough because the conferences are so built into the system, and they also affect other sports as well.
Right.
Like the Big Ten affects football, basketball, all the way down to like lacrosse.
Right.
Like you can't mess it isn't just a simple fix like that you can just like banish conferences. Like you literally can't because it affects the whole structure of collegiate sports.
Right. The point that I'm getting after is that the real problem at its core is how the league is structured.
Yeah.
But
So
there's no way to fix it.
Right. So you can't get rid of it. But
Yeah.
in terms of this move, I think this is the best that you can offer.
Yeah.
Like because last year was kind of a little bit of of chaos. Because remember, I told you we had that situation last year where you had go back to Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. They were the top three, but only one of them can win the conference.
Right.
And then they had their conference game, and it was like, well, isn't that a bad thing then? They make it to the conference game and then lose?
The team that loses played an extra game for no additional benefit.
Yeah.
They lost the conference. They played an extra game. Then they got to turn right around and play the college playoffs.
Right. It was almost better being the third place team.
Yeah.
Because
You get a week off.
You got a little bit. Yeah, you got a little bit of breathing room because let those two idiots battle out for
Right. They'll fight it out. They'll get injured. They'll get tired. I'll get a bye week by not participating and then make the playoffs anyway. I don't get that bye week, but I get this bye week. You know.
So that now should be out the window with this whole college. Well, I mean, it still is actually the top two teams are still probably going to do a conference championship, but there shouldn't be now like an inadvertent benefit to being that sneaky third place team.
Yeah.
Because at least those top two teams, if they fight for the conference championship, they both now have a chance to both get the bye week if they are that good enough.
Right.
So we'll see how it works in reality. But I think this is again another step in the right direction.
I like this system better because it does away with all the arbitrary guidelines.
Yeah.
Just let the best compete for the top spot and the ultimate prize. That's what sports are all about.
Yep. So there you go. A big shot. It feels like it's always like earth shattering because college football has been so stubborn. But it seems like now recently they're trying to follow the NFL model where it's like, you know what? You got to adapt or die. You know, this is you want eyeballs glued to your TV. You got to listen to what the people want and what you think. You know what you hear is what you hear people think is fair. So there you go. And that's a good transition into the NFL. So speaking of the NFL, what's their rule change?
Oh, boy. Yeah. So we've been following the NFL rule changes the past, I guess, couple of months, really, because they had some meetings back in March where they implemented some rules and changes for the upcoming season. The owners and the competition committee met again just a week ago, I think, to vote again on additional rules changes. The big one that was reintroduced, of course, was the potential ban of the tush-push / brotherly shove. And it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion that they were finally going to vote on it and ban it. They were sick and tired of the Eagles being really good at something, so they had to ban it.
Yep.
But in a crazy, shocking plot twist, the vote failed 22-10, and the tush-push lives on.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
I want so bad in the season opener and the game against the Packers, I want like the first drive to be nothing but tush pushes.
Yeah, just every play in a singular drive. It doesn't even matter if it ends in a touchdown. I just want the Eagles to go out there and run like 9 tush pushes in a row.
Yeah. Just to be like, screw you.
Right.
Like this is a football play.
They probably could get a first down by running 4 of them in a row. Because on some big surges, they get about 2.5 yards.
What, you got to get 3.
You got to get, you got to.
If you're going to do it for 4 downs, all you need is 3.
2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 yards. 2.6 yards.
Yeah.
They could do it. But yeah, it lives on another year. The vote failed 22-10. Very, very narrow. They, of course, needed 24 to pass. Apparently, what ended up swaying those small number of voters was an impassioned speech by Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, in which he apparently rambled on for, I think, close to an hour, was reprimanded by NFLPA executive Troy Vincent.
Yeah, who used to be an Eagle.
For some lewd comments that were made. Jason Kelsey appeared and made some remarks.
What is this, wrestling? What is happening here?
I wish they had like video of what happened there.
Yeah.
Because
my God, what the hell's going on tonight?
Yeah, did Ric Flair show up in the middle of this?
It's just crazy stuff.
You represent what I detest. You're a punk walking in the back door with your hand open, looking for a free lick.
Oh, you guys are looking for a free lick, trying to ban my play? How dare you?
Apparently, though, Jeffrey Lurie was getting real heated, though. Tempers were flaring.
I'm talking to you, kid. I'm going to make your mother go, woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel gonna make your mother go woo, woo, woo in Miami.
You know, not too far off. I got to read this quote from Jeffrey Lurie. He said that whether or not the play was banned, it was like a win-win situation for the Eagles because, quote, or it was like, quote, a wet dream for a teenage boy to create a play that was so successful that the only way for it to be stopped was for it to be banned.
Oh, my God.
And he was reprimanded for that.
Ric Flair, the president of the United States. No. Somebody
Yeah. Actual audio there.
Actual audio. But then
Jeffrey Lurie's the president of the United States. I don't care at this point.
But then for him making those comments, Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent reprimanded him for that. And then they continued. It was like wild stuff from what I understand.
I'm the president of the company. If I want to stand out here naked, I'll do it. You'll do it. I'm Ric Flair. I'm the president.
He'll do it.
That's probably exactly what Jeffrey Lurie sounded like.
You want to ban the tush push? I'll do it. I'll do it.
So, yeah, some of the other owners were quipping at Lurie. One San Francisco 49ers owner, Jed York, said, quote, how much more S do we need to say? So people were getting fed up. But whatever was said ended up swaying that vote. Rich, what do you think about this, though? The tush push living on for another year.
Yeah. Obviously, here we're pro tush push. We think
we
it's
love
a fair
pushing
play.
the tush here.
Yeah, it's great way to put that.
I'm gonna leave it exactly like that.
Yeah, it's a football play. I don't understand it. Player safety, get the hell out of here. There's more injuries done with the Lambeau leap than this play. It's complete BS, and unfortunately, I think this is going to be the last season that it's allowed. The fact that it's gaining this much traction with the owners and Goodell just having this weird bent on trying to get it banned, it's going to get banned next year.
Yeah, I don't think that they're just going to let this.
They were 2 votes shy.
Yeah, no,
they are making ground.
They want to get rid of it. My problem is, one, none of their arguments make sense, as you pointed out. But two, the way that the rule is proposed by the Packers, it would outlaw all pushing and pulling of players in general. Like, the way that it's worded makes it so that there's some very tricky situations. So, like, okay, say on like a normal running play, you know, then a big scrum happens. Do the offensive players just like stand by with their hands on their hips, waiting for it to play out? Like, it creates awkward situations that I think detract from the game because it leaves players wondering, well, do I jump in here? Do I just kind of hang out? I think that looks worse on camera for a bunch of players just stand there like, oh, well, we got to see how this plays out. We can't jump in because I can't get a flag for pushing.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look stupid?
Yeah. Also, what's going to happen for other quarterback sneaks? Isn't that going to be the same exact thing that happens? Like, all because the quarterback steps back and then goes forward, that doesn't change anything. It's still going to be the same basic premise.
It's so silly. The whole thing is so silly to me. I think, though, that the Eagles, regardless of this ruling, need to phase this play out now. I mean, it's run its course. I think that we'd be smart to get ahead of it and start working in other iterations of the formation and the play, expecting it to get banned next year because they're not going to let this die.
Well, I don't know if you should phase it out. Still use it. I mean, like, it's still allowed, but
they need to be forward thinking. What's the next thing that they can.
I don't mind like if you're experimenting on the something else, but still use it this year. It's still legal.
I guess I want them to be prepared for when it gets banned.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. I want them,
keep it on the horizon. Yeah.
I want them to be proactive and be like, all right, you don't want us to use it, fine. We'll find some other way to humiliate you. That's what I want.
Well,
do the drive against the Packers with entirely tush pushes.
Yes, do that. I want to see that.
But don't rest on your laurels. Find another way to win one over on these teams. But that wasn't the only rule that was voted on. Before the voting happened, the Lions pulled their proposal for playoff reseeding, which we were both kind of in support of them reseeding, but they pulled that proposal. So that was
It's weird. Owners
they don't like it.
Well, the owners really believe in the division alignment.
Yeah.
They it's funny. I've been hearing multiple interviews where GMs say like the owners are more obsessed with the division rivals than the GMs are. And it's like that's kind of like how they measure themselves up in the league is like, are we better than the three other teams in our division?
Well, I don't want to say it's a low-hanging fruit. It's not that it's easy to win a division, but it's easier than winning a Super Bowl or winning a conference championship. For most teams, that is
your first step.
Yeah, and for a lot of teams, that's the only step they'll take in a year. No, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you win the division, then what? You're bounced in the wild card. At least you can say, hey, we were at least better than these other 4 loser teams. It's an easy thing to hang your hat on. It's an easy thing for owners to validate owning the team, for GMs to validate making a competitive team. It is...
And you get the one home game with this system.
Yeah, which is extra ticket sales. So it is like aiming for the C+ in school.
B-.
B-?
You got to all right, depends on the division because there are some bad divisions out there, but usually you got to be
B-? You
got to You got to be a little bit better than average.
It's just enough to keep the scholarship.
Right. That's correct. There you go. That's a good way to put it.
So, yeah, that wasn't voted on because the Lions pulled it. But they did vote to change onside kicks. Now you are allowed to have an onside kick in any quarter. This has changed from the 2024 rule, in which it was only allowed in the fourth quarter.
I like that.
Yeah. You still have to announce it because the new kicking formation is different.
Oh, yeah, so there really still is no surprise onside
But
kick.
at least they can do it whenever they want, and they don't have to be trailing anymore. Because that was the other part. It had to be fourth quarter, and you had to be trailing.
Yeah.
So, and, you can think of situations why they might be changing this because, for example, in the Super Bowl, Kansas City was trailing the entire time. They couldn't call onside kicks until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
When they could have been calling them in the second and the third. Would have been crazy, but they could have. So you see,
I liked it. That was great. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
It was perfect. Keep it up.
Yeah.
And finally, another exciting rule change here. NFL players are allowed to compete in the Summer Olympics flag football matches in the 2028 Olympics. This, I think, is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that the players love it. They've gotten some exposure to it at the Pro Bowls recently. And with this news, I watched some analysis, some video analysis of flag football and the actual flag football league. It is way different. And I think it's going to be super exciting to see how professionals play in this modified version of football. It's 5-on-5. The field is really, really small, like smaller than arena football.
Wow.
Which was already 50 by 25.
Yeah.
And I watched a clip where the U.S. was playing Italy. The U.S. used a 2-quarterback system with 2 scrambling quarterbacks where they could throw the ball back and forth and scramble until they found an opening to pass because it's such a small field. So everybody's thinking, oh, it's going to be like, Tom Brady's going to come out of retirement and he's going to throw and he's going to throw to some big wide receiver. Like, no. You have to think about it completely different. It's going to be quarterbacks like a Kyler Murray and a Jalen Hurts in the backfield at the same time, throwing to guys like A.J. Brown or, like bigger receivers, Jamar Chase, and no defensive players and no offensive linemen because everybody plays both ways. So it's a completely different way of football. It's going to be really cool to see what the U.S. Olympic team comes up with these NFL players in those spots.
Yeah, so that should be very interesting to keep an eye out for when what year is that again? It's
2028. So we got some time.
Yeah, got some time to plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see there. All right, so there you go. Anything else there with the meetings there? I think that's it.
I think that was it for all the relevant rules changes.
All right, and I would like to give our 5% update. Aaron Rodgers is still not signed. I don't know what is happening.
He's not going to be signed until August.
At this
He's going to
rate?
try and skip as much of the off season as possible.
Yes, he's Brett Favre-ing it. He's literally pulling on Brett Favre. Like, I don't know how much more cyclical do we need to get with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
He's just got to take some pictures and
send them to some
media.
Yeah.
That's it. That's his final evolution.
Right. That's all he's got to do left.
And defraud the state of Mississippi.
That's later on.
Right. That's after his playing
That's way
career.
after. Yeah.
Did you watch? I haven't, but have you watched the Netflix documentary?
No.
Fall of Favre?
No.
Are you going to?
No.
Oh, Rich.
Don't break my heart.
You could hear in his voice. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I built those walls up high and strong.
Don't break my heart. All right. But no.
All right, we won't.
In terms of Aaron Rodgers, I still can't believe we're about to hit June, and he is still not signed.
He doesn't want to touch a football field until late August.
What does that even send about his wanting to actually play?
If I'm a player on any team he eventually goes to, he's going to walk in. I'm going to be like, "You're kind of a bum."
Yeah, you bum.
And I don't know. Maybe my thinking is weird. Maybe that's why I'm not a football player. But you have to imagine, are they going to want to follow somebody that didn't want to be there for the majority of team activities? Is he a part of the team if he's not really practicing or installing plays with them? I don't know.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. It's not a team first attitude. It's not a team attitude, period.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. So, there you go. I thought I would just give everyone an Aaron Rodgers update. Still nothing. That's the update.
Good old Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. All right. On that note, I think now we can officially take a breather here, take a little bit of a quick break. But we still have much more shows still to come. We will have the entertainment entree. We're going to talk about The Last of Us.
Yep.
So if you are caught up on Season 2, you're definitely going to want to stick around after the break, and we'll do our therapy to close out Season 2 of The Last of Us. And then I'll have some non-Fortune Cookie Yacht news as well. So don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to GameShowMarathon.com.
You just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off me.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look.
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. All right, there you go. We're starting off the second half of our show with our Saint Democracy Manifest.
Classic.
The classic Saint. High up in the rafters here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. Very revered.
Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Because how else do you have Chinese? You have to have a succulent Chinese meal.
There's no better way to have a Chinese meal than for it to be succulent.
That's right. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get into the next part of our show where we go. Oh, no.
Nope,
Nope,
not
that one. I forgot to turn it off. Hey, you know, this is a live podcast. There you go. Get it back on. Here we go. All right, here we go. Now it's officially time. Let's do the entertainment entree.
Que te va a hacer pupita.
That's a yes.
Oh, my balls!
There you go.
Sure.
Some Spanish television, Twin Peaks, and South Park. There you go.
Perfect combination. Is that the Holy Trinity right there?
Sure.
To go along with Saint Democracy Manifest?
Yes, there you go. That's how we're starting off this entertainment entree right there.
Fun fact, that Spanish clip is a horse.
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that until like years later after Rich introduced that clip.
Que te va a hacer pupita.
That's a horse. I had no idea that horses
yeah.
can make a sound like that.
Yes, they can. There you go.
Why did you say it like that?
Yes, they can.
Like you have personal, intimate knowledge.
I don't know.
Oh,
but
boy.
I brought that clip back from the dead. Why not? Every
Love
now
it.
and then you gotta really.
That's one of my favorites.
Right. There you go. So
The
you put,
Pepita clip or whatever.
put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Now, without further ado, let's properly start off the entertainment entree with the segment where Mike lets you know what you should keep an eye out for in a day or two, because it's this weekend with new movies, TV, and video game properties in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, first up in video games, a new month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So in June, make sure you grab those free games if you are subscribed to PlayStation Plus. In movies, Karate Kid Legends hits theaters this week. It continues the resurgence of the Karate Kid universe after Netflix's Cobra Kai series. This movie picks up after those events and has nothing to do with them, so continuity be damned. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio...
Not directly.
No. Indirectly?
Yes. Because it's still Daniel LaRusso. There's still...
That's the only tie.
Well...
Oh, is there more?
There's one more element.
Oh.
It's not like... It's not like earth-shattering, but there's one more tie-in that I don't want to tell people.
Oh, okay. Plot twist. Ooh.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's cool.
But it's enough that you don't want to spoil it.
Right.
Okay.
It's like a little wink to the audience, if you will.
All right. Well, let's leave that wink secret. But for the movie itself, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio return in their roles from their previous Karate Kid movies to tutor a new karate prodigy, this time in New York City. Unfortunately, the movie's not doing well with critics, but if you love cheesy 80s karate films, Go check out Karate Kid Legends this week in theaters. And in television, Department Q is a new British crime thriller based on a Danish novel coming to Netflix this week. After a shooting incident that leaves his partner paralyzed, a former top detective is relegated to the basement to work on cold cases, where he assembles a team of misfits to tackle a politically charged missing persons case. This one, unlike the Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio movie, has good review scores. It's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, so go check out Department Q on Netflix this week. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right. Thank you for that segment, This Week in Entertainment. All right. Without further ado, we've given now 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You've had 4 days now to catch up.
Yeah.
So this is your last warning. We're going to go into spoiler territory for all of Season 2, the TV show of The Last of Us.
It's a spoiler! Woo! It's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
That's right. If you have not watched all of The Last of Us, Season 1, Season 2, you got to, I don't know, do something else. Because this is it. We need to go over everything that happened. This is the finale. All right, where do you want to go, Mike, with this convo?
You know what? It's weird. This was the first episode I wasn't that thrilled about.
Oh,
It was good, but there was no effective way to do this pivot. There was no good way to do it. There just wasn't.
So now seeing the actual split in real life, seeing that Season 2 is all about Ellie and Season 3 is going to be all Abby, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, so, I mean, both of us are watching the show with non-game players, and the reaction was instant and visceral and not happy, at least on my end. I don't know how it was for you, but non-game players had big reactions, and they were like, I can't believe that's how it ended. And I was like, I kind of agree, because in the game, you just keep playing.
Right.
And now you got 18 months.
Yeah, you got to wait.
And it's giving, and this is what I said last week, it's giving Season 6 of The Walking Dead.
Well, this is why I thought the story of The Last of Us 2 can only be 2 seasons. Because I feel like asking this to go on for a 3rd season on its own is going to be too taxing. It's not. Yeah, it's not. I feel like it's too long. It's not going to work. And I'm worried. I think we might be on to something here.
It's so bizarre because all season, I mean, I was riding high. I thought Season 2 was just as good, if not better in some cases, than Season 1. Then I got to the finale and I finished it. I'm like, I liked it, but I also didn't. From a TV perspective, I liked it because I'm like, oh man, I know what's coming. And then when you step back and look at it from the perspective of the medium, you're like, uh-oh. That was not necessarily good TV, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, cliffhangers are maybe good in, like, a limited series or, you know, I don't know.
Or a half season.
Or a half season.
Maybe this should have been, actually, you know what? Maybe they should have pulled the AMC formula. Where
2A and 2B?
Yeah, you do some half seasons.
I don't know why they didn't film it all at once. I mean, I know budget issues and they weren't, you know, signed all the way through 3 and 4 yet. I think they're still only signed for Season 3.
Yeah, they don't have 4. No, 3's the only one greenlit.
Is this just, you know, an executive team issue? They're just not getting greenlit for enough seasons to film back to back to back, you know, to make the audience wait 18 months now. Conservatively, I think. It was 2 full years between Season 1 and 2.
Unless they've already started shooting. I don't know if they have.
Potentially, but it's going to take a long time in post-production with some of the fight scenes coming up, which we won't get into with the infected. It's raised some concerns for me. And the other issue that I had was I'm starting to see some of the fruits of the fast pacing start to sour in the finale. Specifically with, it just felt so quick at the point where Ellie and all them decide to go back. And I think part of that was because it just seemed like the aquarium happened really fast. And then the after aquarium scenes happen really fast. And everything, it just seems like there's no time to digest or reflect for me personally.
Yeah.
Especially because HBO also had them pull their punches with the aquarium scene.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't show everything.
Well, there's a big difference in how Mel and the unborn child died.
Yeah.
They could not do what they did in the game because HBO would not be able to air the third season from the backlash. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's your feeling on it?
Yeah, initially I was fine with it, but I definitely could see some disappointment on just how fast everything moved. It felt like they had like a checklist and they had to like boom, 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 and get it over with.
Like I was loving it, episodes 1 through 6. Then all of a sudden in 7, I'm like, oh my god, it like wrapped up really fast.
Yeah.
It's a short episode. It's only like, what, like 40,
which is
40
why,
minutes?
Which is why I think they can only do another season. I really...
They said 4 already.
Well, that's what Craig Mazin says. That, you know, if HBO says you only got one more season, sorry, you only got one more season. Look at Westworld. There's like, sorry.
And you got to find a way to fit it in.
Yeah.
I think that there could be a way to do it where you start Seattle day 1, 2, and 3, episodes 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Or you do 1, 2 Abby flashback episode.
Do the half season thing.
You could do 4 and 4. You do 1, 2 Abby flashback, day 3. It ends at the theater again.
Right. From her point of view.
And then you have the final 4 redacted.
Right. Which
because there are probably non-game players who will listen to this.
Yes. So I think that's the way you're going to have to do this, unless HBO just gives them the blank check for a season 4, which I don't know. That's a tall order.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, you're not the only one, Mike. I saw numbers. I saw ratings. There was definitely a decrease on this episode.
I'm just reading right now, Hollywood Reporter. The viewership, 3.7 million viewers, which is really good.
Still good, but not as good as it once was.
When you compare 3.7 to the finale of season 1 at 8.2, that's less than half. There's always a drop-off, but that's a pretty steep drop-off.
And how much do you think the next drop-off is going to be when this next season is all Abby?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go from 3.7 to 1.5, 1.6, at that point you're like, is there really enough audience to warrant big infected battles?
Yeah.
Right? The only reason that shows like Game of Thrones gets their budgets is because millions of people tune in every week. They're like, okay, there's still like 5-6 million people watching. That's enough for a dragon. If only 1 million people watch, like, we're not going to do a huge, 1,000-person infected battle. That's insane.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like this finale might have some repercussions, not just in terms of the story, but with the actual production of this show.
Did the finale sour your view of season 2 overall? Like, that sometimes happens. We've talked about that in other properties where one movie or one episode. No?
No, I think overall season 2 was still pretty good. There were definitely some performances that were very well done.
Yeah.
So I think it's still fine as a whole. But in terms of the future, and especially with Craig Mazin trying to get a 4th season, I think he's in trouble.
Yeah. I think for me, episode 7, it didn't lessen the quality of the other 6 episodes, but it did highlight some things that I guess I had been overlooking a little bit. Like in episode 7, Isaac is like bugging out over where Abby is. And even his second in command is like, why are you acting like she's the most important person? I'm like, yeah, Isaac, why are you acting that way?
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes you realize that, like, I guess, like, some of those issues where they're not either handling it well or they're not, like, fleshing it out enough or they're focusing in on the wrong areas. Like, they had Ellie crash on Scar Island when that doesn't happen in the game.
Yeah, that was random.
And that was a weird, like, side tangent where they could have done more in the aquarium or more after the aquarium. And I know that they needed to do that to highlight the threat going into season 3, and specifically to leave a breadcrumb for the battle that happens, right? Because you hear the explosions. So they're breadcrumbing it where people be like, remember that scene? But, like, in terms of the immediate payoff, that does nothing for the episode. That does nothing for the season.
Yeah, and you're going to probably forget about it by the time season 3 rolls around.
Yeah, because it's so weird and ham-fisted. So, like, Isaac waiting for Abby, ham-fisted. Ellie on Scar Island, ham-fisted. The cliffhanger, there was no good way to do it. It happens exactly like it did in the game. But we had the benefit of, like, okay, I'm going to sit and play another 2 hours and see where this starts to go to wet my whistle here. Now we got to wait 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that might have been a misstep here.
Should they just have extended season 2 to a full, like, 11, 12 episodes and just done? There was no good way.
Thinking about it, I think they would have benefited if they did, like, half seasons.
Yeah.
You know? I think that way you would have been able to do Ellie's point of view, Abby's point of view, and then the resolution.
And then maybe season 3 is all of after Seattle.
Or something like that.
They could have done season 2 in part A and part B, and then season 3 is the next part.
Possibly.
But
the only thing I know is...
it is what it is.
I think it's going to be rough for Craig Mazin to try and ask for a 4th season. Because
I think the ratings are still just good enough. But the fact that I saw multiple media outlets, like, posting specifically about the ratings drop is not a positive sign.
Yeah. I think they might be in trouble on a 4th season.
We will see. Time will tell. As it stands right now, Last of Us Season 2 is wrapped. We'll see you guys in 18 months.
Yeah, for the next season.
The next Last of Us news.
Yeah. All right, now with that out of the way, let's get to our third and final portion of the show. Folks, it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
Oh, good for you.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No! Hit the brakes! I can't stop it!
What was that last one?
That was Star Fox.
Was that Star Fox?
It's one of the levels. It's not Star Fox. It's not Fox McCloud. No, it's one of the levels. But...
hit the brakes!
Oh, no!
Are there brakes to hit in a spaceship? You just slam on the brakes, it comes screeching to a stop.
In the game, there is a mechanism where, like, you kind of stop the ship, and, like, you try and have if somebody's following you, you try and make them overshoot you.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not quite brakes, but it's just you stop. I don't know.
I guess
it is brakes.
I guess planes kind of have brakes because they can raise their flaps to slow them down. I guess it's considered brakes.
I don't know. If you're a pilot, let us know. I don't know.
If you're
is there a pilot listening to our show?
I can guarantee you one thing. We have no pilots listening to this show.
I hope not.
They're listening to this while they're flying. Oh boy, I don't know.
Please concentrate on flying the plane, dear God.
Please, yes.
Oh my God. But yes, folks, it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
That's right, folks. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. In this segment, Rich researches the news. Reads. Oh my God!
Wow, you all right over there?
I am so tired from flying.
Remix.
Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Are you okay?
Oh, yes. Let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I almost dropped my phone, and then I caught it. So everything's good.
Everything's good over here.
We're all fine here now. Thank you.
So what do you got for us? Where are we heading to?
All right. You know what? We talked about Last of Us. Let's go back to Seattle.
Okay. Ooh, Seattle. Okay, they're kind of weird out there.
Yeah. So why not? So we're talking Seattle. Let's keep it going. And you know, isn't there a saying like keep oh, it's Portland. All right, whatever. It's like keep that area weird. Everything in that Pacific Northwest is weird, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's the rain.
The
Well,
rain.
I think
perpetually just
this is my
rains.
theory. I think anywhere with extreme weather conditions makes people's minds go crazy. Case in point, Florida and the heat, Alaska and the perpetual night, Seattle and the endless rain. I'm sure there's others out there, but I can't think of them, and I think I'm correct.
Well, you may have a case here with this guy here. We're going to talk about 50-year-old Keenan Pearson.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50 years old.
This guy does a little bit more than just kicking and stretching and stuff like that. That is because 50-year-old Keenan Pearson is described by Seattle cops as, quote, a prolific public masturbator.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Oh, yes.
How much public masturbation do you have to do to become prolific?
Yeah.
That's a terrifying moniker to earn.
Yes. This is in his police report that he's described that way, too.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yep. He also says his actual nickname is Master Bader.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
It says he's 50, but he's actually 11.
Yeah. 13.
13.
Yeah.
Right.
But he actually gave that to cops as a name, so that's actually listed as like an alias.
An alias? Oh,
yes.
Stop.
So there you go. He's actually listed. It's in the police report.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And according to Seattle cops, his most recent event was he decided to go into a grocery store, walk down the middle of the aisle, drop trow, and go to town.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
What aisle, though? What got him going? He's like, oh, canned vegetables. Let's go.
Oh, corn.
Oh, yeah, corn. Oh.
Give me that corn.
But really, what aisle?
It doesn't say. It just said it says the middle of the store in the aisle. So I guess if I'm going by like the stores that I've been in, I think usually the middle is like your actually you're right.
I think
it's like your
canned
canned
goods.
vegetables. It's your
like
rice, your
stuff,
pasta. I think you're right. I think you're in that area.
So he's going straight for the Goya, and he's like, let's
oh, Miss Goya,
Miss Goya. Oh, Mrs. Buttersworth.
Oh, you looking fine tonight.
It's gonna give Mrs. Buttersworth his butter.
Hey, you know what? You know what he could have really had?
What?
I guess you could say you had yourself a manwich. Yeah. Ooh.
Okay, that one works.
That's
that
actual
one works.
audio.
That is captured on scene.
Yeah, went to that manwich can.
Ooh. So yeah, he goes to the canned goods section. He's just having at it.
Yep, just drop trout.
And the other shoppers are like, "Uh-oh." That Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to get to the cream of mushroom. Not the cream of man.
That's the most nonchalant way to.
Uh-oh.
Is that what you would do, guys? Just having some fun. You just go. Uh-oh.
I honestly don't know what I would do if I like turn down the aisle. I've got my shopping cart full of stuff. I'm like, my food's defrosting. I gotta go. Uh-oh.
So nonchalant.
Uh-oh. So, yeah, so he gets discovered. I don't know how nonchalantly they discover him, but he gets discovered. And
yeah. Well, here's the thing too. He must have just kept going too, because cops were called on the scene.
Like that takes a while for them to show up, right? Like at least
there's a little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still just going at it.
He's just
I've planted my flag. I'm staying here. Take that, bitches.
Something just came over me, and I took my clothes off.
He was not giving it up.
Yeah. I occupy this aisle now.
This is my aisle.
Yes.
I don't care if you need to get your pasta.
Yep. By virtue of this, I now own everything in this aisle.
That's right.
I'm set up for life.
I've left my mark.
I get to have all these canned vegetables.
These are all mine.
Yeah.
He's marking his territory.
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, eyewitnesses confessed that, eyewitnesses said that he was touching himself in the aisle, and this Pearson guy confessed to cops that he, quote, was stroking.
He just fessed up to it. He's like, "Yep, that was me.
Yep, that was me." What? That's not. What you? Is this frowned upon? What? I thought this was America. The hell?
This is my freedom.
Yeah.
Take your damn clothes off.
He's practicing his freedom of speech right there. What?
According to one eyewitness, apparently when women were walking perpendicular, he gleamed at them. Oh, come on.
That's so. I don't know why the description's so terrible.
Yeah, come on. Like, really? Boy, crank this creepy factor up to 11.
He's just going at it, and all of a sudden... But, like, they're walking by. You've only got, like, 2 seconds. But in those 2 seconds, he's like,
oh, you're next. You're next in the library.
You're next
in my mind library.
Click mental picture.
Yeah. Oh, lady in the red dress. All right.
Oh, when canned beans just aren't enough.
Yeah. Oh, dear God.
So he was gleaming at people.
Yep. Unfortunately, too, he obviously, as this is a prolific public masturbator, he was supposed to register as a sex offendant, and according to cops, his status was, quote, non-compliant.
Uh-oh, not good.
Yep. So he has previous convictions for voyeurism, obviously multiple convictions for indecent exposure.
Dude, just stop.
No, this guy can't stop. Unfortunately, at one point, he was also charged with burglary and possession of a deadly weapon, so that also makes him a previous felon.
That's pretty serious.
He got locked up in jail in lieu of a $150,000 bond.
Wow.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Seattle is just like, no, this guy can't go back out in public. He's done.
They're not playing around. I mean, look, he's got multiple counts of indecent exposure, voyeurism, masturbating in public. He's got, weapons, burglary. He's a problem. You can't. You gotta lock him up.
$150,000.
That's crazy.
That is a.
Finally, we get a non-news story with like a real amount of bail.
That is a real amount of money. Yeah.
Usually it's like, oh, he was locked up for like $7.20.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But that's a real chunk of change.
Yeah.
Right
I imagine he's not getting out.
No.
That is. He's staying in jail.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. I hope he took a lot of mental pictures because you ain't going to get any more of them in jail.
No, sir. But I'm pretty sure they do have packaged food, though. So he could still, a little mental stimulation there.
Dear God.
He's like, oh, ramen.
Hey, that Keenan guy, don't give him the Mrs. Buttersworth.
That's what he got locked up for.
Don't give him the Aunt Jemima.
No, not good.
Give him regular syrup.
That's right.
No.
No shapely packaging whatsoever.
Give him the packet, the little packets.
That's right.
Do not give him the bottle.
No. No bottles for him. Nothing that's vaguely shapely.
Don't give him the Land O'Lakes butter either.
Anything with any kind of female on the packaging, nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the female associated.
Starbucks, the mermaid, does that count?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
No Starbucks coffee. What else has got?
Why would he get Starbucks in jail? What, Starbucks? Now Starbucks are getting into jail?
Yeah.
They set up a little store, a little commissary?
I feel like that's a good business venture for them. Yeah.
Oh, Starbucks, stop listening. This is not for you.
No, do it.
Oh, God.
They have them in bookstores. They have them in Target.
So put them in jails.
They have them in grocery stores. Why not jails? Prisoners need coffee.
That really does actually sound like an initiative that they would do.
I think it's too expensive for jails. You know how many license plates they got to print to afford one cup of coffee?
You know how much toilet wine I got to make for coffee?
Oh, that's bad. You know, we still got our license plate from prisoners in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, take that, you bastards.
Yeah.
But
Well, no shapely packaging for this guy.
no, he only gets the plain packets.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't trust him with Land O'Lakes butter either. Huh?
No,
Get
no.
him regular little pads of butter.
He's prolific.
Yes, that's right.
He's prolific, all right? He's famous.
Right. That's what it was in the police report as that.
He's labeled prolific and with his nickname as well.
Yes.
Master Bader.
That's under his alias if he ever needs to be read in court or something.
That's an absurd police record.
Yep. That's why he's bails at $150,000.
Yeah.
That's expensive than cars.
Yeah.
That is a huge
That's a lot
bail.
of money.
Yeah.
And all because he couldn't keep it in his pants when he saw some canned vegetables.
Whew. Yeah.
That cream of corn, man, I'm telling you, just gets him going. The Goya kidney beans.
Oh, Miss Goya.
Oh, Miss Goya. I really want to know what aisle it was, though. Like,
yeah.
I think that we're close with the canned
think so.
and packaged.
It said the middle of the store, the middle of the aisle. I
That's
think that
usually
sounds about right.
like the dry goods, the canned stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, Mr. Redenbacher. Maybe he goes both ways.
Well, there you go. True story there in Seattle.
Of all places.
Yeah, we usually don't go to Seattle.
No.
Usually the Pacific Northwest is usually on their own, then usually fine, but not this week.
No, sir.
It's the complete opposite of Florida.
It is, yeah.
So
Like completely opposite, yeah.
Yeah, how do you like that?
But still naked people.
Right.
That is universal, no matter where you are.
Yes. All right. Well, you know what? We have had a good time here on our altered version of the podcast, doing it live and way later than what we're usually used to. But it's been a fun night, and I think it was a good little trial run here to do this.
We had to do it for the Last of Us finale, too.
Right. So after this, we should be back on a normal schedule. We usually get the podcast out Wednesday morning, so usually that's what we do. But this week was different with Memorial Day and Mikey flying and everything like that. So it was good to do it. Thank you guys for supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast sent to you every week. Two main ways to do that. First one is right here on YouTube. Click that subscribe button so that you get the latest episodes sent to your YouTube account every week, and you can watch us on your phone, on YouTube TV, on however you consume your YouTube videos. You can go straight there. Second main way is on Spotify. We do put the video podcast up on Spotify, but you can also put Spotify on in the background, listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And then if you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you if you're driving around, if you're gonna do some things.
What are our listeners doing?
I don't want to get into the Seattle odd news.
Stay away from the canned goods.
Yes. No, don't do that.
Go ahead.
Yes, but other than that, enjoy the Crispy Noodle podcast on the go.
That's right. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. If you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Blue Sky. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLaepig. Find us on Blue Sky. But for now, that'll do it. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.